What's up, guys? My name is Gabe, and welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the viewer comment series, a series where you guys send in your questions on YouTube and Twitter, and I answer them here on the show. I'll be honest, the news today with Charlie Kirk has kind of rocked me, as I'm sure it has many of you. One of the more truly horrific and upsetting things I've ever seen. If you come across the video, all I have to say is please don't watch it. I made that mistake and have been regretting it ever since. So yeah, we're not meant to see things like that. Every thought, every bit of love, every prayer I can possibly muster is going to go the way of his family. I mean, he had 2 little kids. Yeah, I feel sick and heartbroken and honestly not in the mood to do this video whatsoever. Talking about USC football right now just doesn't feel very important, but I know that a lot of you look forward to these videos, and if it can be a 5 to 10 minute escape for any one of you, then I'm going to get it done. So please like and subscribe. Now let's get into the comments. First up from Sam K over on Twitter. He says, how would you grade Kamari and Nickel? Don't see much impact on the game like last year. So yeah, this is something that I've been noticing when watching the games back. He seems much more comfortable at the safety spot. Now the ball just isn't going his way as much because he's very tight in coverage. He's a very good player. They don't want to run the ball his way, but it's harder to avoid a specific safety as opposed to a nickel. So yeah, I do prefer him back at safety, not playing deep safety in cover 1, but at that strong safety spot. But at the moment, like, what are you supposed to do? Because if Kamari comes back to play safety, I don't think Christian Pierce can come down and play nickel. So is it going to be Kevin Longstreet? Like, we need our guys back. We really need Alex Graham. We haven't heard anything on when Prophet Brown could come back, but we need him back in the worst way as well. Yeah, that's a spot we definitely didn't address enough in the offseason. Would have liked to have had one more experienced guy at that nickel spot. Next up from Chase over on YouTube. He says, do you think this will be Deant Lynn's last season coaching for USC? Yes, I absolutely do. He's too smart, too desirable a head coaching candidate. Now, if this defense goes off the rails for whatever reason, then I think he will still be here, obviously. But if we perform well, he could for sure get a head coaching job, or hell, even move to the NFL and become a DC, or maybe just a full-time position coach. I don't think he would leave for a job like that, but if he got offered a DC job in the NFL, I think he would for sure go. And then obviously, if a head coaching opportunity comes knocking, I'd be very surprised if he stayed at USC past this year. Now, building off of that, there's no name on this one, but he says, let's just assume Deant Lynn gets a head coaching job after this season. How does that affect recruits and current defensive players transferring? Well, how can it not, right? Make no mistake about it, this is Deant Lynn's defense. These defensive players aren't really coming here to play for Lincoln Riley. When you have a big-time coordinator, it's going to be that way at any school. So yeah, it definitely will have an effect, but who the replacement is going to be what dictates who stays and who goes. Me and Tim were just talking about this on the podcast, but I don't think we're going to promote someone who's currently on staff. And it's absolutely nothing against the guys on staff, but what this current regime has shown us is that they go after it hard. They go get the top guys, they don't pinch pennies, and they don't play it safe. So in the same way we saw Gus Malzahn move from UCF to Florida State, going from a head coach to a coordinator, that's for sure something I could see happening just on the defensive side of the ball. Next up from Dean Bishop Music over on YouTube. He says, how much of the run defense deficiencies is an ongoing concern versus Lynn experimentation in the first 2 games? So I think both things are true. Lynn definitely has been experimenting. There's been a lot of rotation, a lot of guys moving around, but experimentation is not causing guys to get blasted off the ball, right? Like Jah Jarrett is 360 pounds. He should not be getting pushed back the way he was. Keyshawn Silver is a very experienced player. He should not be getting pushed back the way he was. So while we are experimenting a lot, rotating a lot of guys, I don't think that's to blame for getting gashed the way we did in the run game against Georgia Southern. Just have to play better, plain and simple. Next up from JC over on YouTube. He says, who do you think will stand out as our wide receiver 3? And will it happen this week, next week, or what game do you think we will see a chosen receiver take the next step? So I believe it's going to be Tanook Hines. And I think it's going to be a slow burn, a gradual build-up throughout the season. Like right now, we're really only seeing him catch bubble screens, and he's not doing a ton with them, but he seems to be the guy that they have the most trust in. He's the guy I have the most faith in for sure. He's the youngest, he still has the most room to grow, and he's also the closest to reaching that. Like Corey Sims and Mo Eisen seem to be a pretty far ways off, so I think it's going to be Tanook, but I don't think there's going to be like a specific game where it's like, oh, that's when he broke out. I think his production is going to gradually increase as we go throughout the year. And before we know it, he'll be the solidified wide receiver 3. Next up from Pick6368 over on YouTube, he says, do you think Jacobe Lane has a character problem? I always see him at games look pissed when he isn't throwing the ball, and when Kyle Ford caught the game-winning touchdown, he didn't celebrate with him and looked disappointed he didn't get thrown the ball. So the first part, no, I don't think Jacobe has a character problem. What I will say is he's an interesting dude. He is very different. He's very out there. Very much has his own personality. certainly has his own way of speaking, with both how his voice sounds, the energy he speaks with, and just the crazy things he says. He appears to be extremely emotional, both in a good way and sometimes in a detrimental way. But what I will say is that he's a typical wide receiver. Like, we see guys like this dominate in the NFL every single Sunday. Even if they're winning, Jamar Chase is throwing fits on the Bengals if he's not getting the ball. Wide receivers are alphas. They have to be. They're out there one-on-one. They're isolated. They have to think they're better than everybody else on the field. So with that is going to come some other character traits that to you might look like he has a character problem, but in reality, he's just being a typical wideout. So I totally get your point and totally get how that can look sometimes. Now, would you prefer a guy just to be like a Kyron Hudson, a guy that keeps his head down and doesn't get too high or too low? Absolutely. But with Jacoby's talent, you have to take some of the quirks that come with his personality as well. Next up from Caden over on Twitter, he says, if you could take anyone from last year's team and put them on this year's team, who and why? Easy, not even a doubt, Jalen Smith. We are very weak in the secondary, and that is an NFL level defensive back. He's playing for the Texans, had a very good preseason, and Jalen was quietly our best tackler over the last 3 years under Lincoln Riley. He was consistent every single season. Despite his size, he had wonderful form. He can do everything for you at the nickel or corner spot. So if you want to put him opposite to Carlos Nicholson, what a huge help that would be. And if you want to put him at nickel and put Kamari back at safety, even better. So yeah, for sure, Jalen Smith. I know there could be an argument for Emmanuel Pregnon. I just think that our secondary needs the help so badly. And I think we're going to need the defense to win a few games this year. So I would pick Jalen Smith there. Next up from Frisky Dingo over on Twitter. He says, I mean this with all due respect. Why is Kevin Longstreet playing so much? I love seeing walk-ons getting snaps in garbage time and get their chance to see the field, but it seems like he has gotten significant snaps with the ones. That seems a tad concerning. So it is concerning. And of course, with all due respect, Kevin Longstreet is busting his ass every single day. He definitely didn't play bad in that Georgia Southern game. He did get smoked on that one touchdown he allowed, but he had been playing for a while. Maybe he was a little tired. I'm not sure. However, he's playing so much because we don't have anyone at nickel. Like, guys, we don't have anybody. We had Prophet Brown. We had Alex Graham. They didn't cross-train enough at that spot, it seems. Like Marcellus Williams, who I think would be a wonderful fit for nickel, isn't playing there. Christian Pierce can't play there. Like, we have a lot of dudes that are safeties and corners, but not really nickels. So when you come out in dime right now, he's the backup nickel. He's going to be on the field a lot. So yeah, it is concerning. We have to get healthy. Absolutely have to. We need Alex Graham, we need Prophet Brown, and we need him fast. And lastly, from Sunshine over on Twitter, he says, we struggled to stop the run against Georgia Southern. What percentage of the responsibility do you attribute to our defensive line play versus our linebackers? So this might seem like a cop-out, but I'm going to say 50-50. Like, our defensive line getting pushed back mixed with our linebackers refusing to fill the holes, those two complement each other to allow those explosive runs. Like, Desmond Stevens has to do a significantly better job filling those gaps. He has to be tougher against the run. And we talked about our defensive line. Our defensive ends are playing some fantastic football right now. The interior guys have to step up and not get blasted off the ball. So everyone on the defense has to step up. Definitely don't think it's just on one of them. But yeah, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of the viewer comment series. I do apologize if I was less enthusiastic or not really into it. I tried my best, but it's a hard day for everybody. If you did happen to enjoy the video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate all of you being here today. You're all awesome, and as always, take care and fight on.